Alright, so greetings once again, guys. So today we will discuss another topic in MS1 Auto or quantitative methods. Okay, so last time we've discussed the measures of dispersion as well as the measures of skewness. Ngayon punta tayo sa third lecture dito sa ating midterms, which is sets and Venn diagram. So I think you should be familiar already with this concept kasi I think dapat na-cover nyo na to sa MS 100, but still we will discuss sets and Venn diagrams, okay? Kasi this will be a very critical part of our next discussion, which is the discussion on probabilities, okay? So but before that, let's take a look at our discussion. So we have a problem. So, tignan natin itong motivation natin. So, basahin ko lang. Last June, there were 15 windy days and 20 rainy days, yet 5 days were neither windy nor rainy. The problem is, how can this be when June only has 30 days? Kung titignan nga naman natin yung problems natin, meron tayong 15 windy days, 20 rainy days, and 5 days that were neither windy nor rainy. If we add all these days, we will get a total of 40. So, ang tanong nga, sabi dito, since 30 days lang ang June, paano siya naging possible? Okay? Madali lang sagutin tong tanong na to if we have already a knowledge on sets and Venn diagrams. Let's take a look on the process of how we solve this problem. Let W be the set of windy days and R be the set of rainy days. Take a note na pag meron tayong windy days, pwede rin naman tayong umulan. Tama? Pag mahangin, may mga times din na umuulan. And then, pag maulan, may mga times din na mahangin. Kaya ang gagawin natin dito, ititignan natin kung ilan yung intersection nila. Ilang days ba yung windy at saka ilang days din ba yung windy and rainy. Okay? And then, let E be the set of days in June. So, E has a size of 30 kasi nga 30 days lang yung size ng June. Then, W and R together have the size of 35. Take note kasi ang W natin kanina ay ilang days? Ilan ang windy days? 15. And then we have a total of 20 rainy days. So if we add those two, windy and rainy, we get a total of 35 days. Eh sabi dito, yung 5 days daw ay hindi umulan at hindi rin mahangin. So ibig sabihin, yung combined total ng windy at saka rainy ay dapat equal lang kay 25. Tama? Kasi nga 30 days lang ang meron sa June. So, isa lang ang ibig sabihin nito. There are days na umuulan na tapos mahangin pa. Yun yung tinatawag natin na overlap. There is an overlap between W and R and that value is the value 10. Okay? So, meron tayong 10 days na maulan and mahangin at the same time. So, if we take a look at the Venn diagram, it will look something like this. So, E, yung ating universal set. W is our windy. So, ito siya, itong unang circle na ito. So, if we take a total, 5 plus 10, ito ay equal kay 15, which is 15 windy days. As well as the rainy days, ito naman siyang circle na ito. 10 plus 10, we get a total of 20. So, we have 20 days. Pero sabi nga natin kanina, this would only be possible kung meron tayong intersection ni windy at saka ni rainy, which is the value 10. Okay? If we total this number, so 5, 10, 10, plus 5, so yung 5 dito, hindi windy, hindi rainy, we get a total of 30 days. So, sumakto na siya sa number of days sa buwan ng June. Okay? So, this is only a motivation. So, now, the purpose of this module is to introduce the language of talking about sets. Okay? Hindi lang natin i-define yung sets, but we will discuss several types of sets. And then yung mga notation that follows para hindi tayo ma-confuse. Kasi mahirap na nagde-describe tayo ng sets using only sentences. Gagamit din tayo ng symbols. Okay? And then another important topic of this discussion is yung mga tinatawag natin na Venn diagrams. Okay? Which makes the situation easy to visualize. Okay? So, now we proceed to the definition of a set. So, ano nga ba ang isang set? So, a set is just a collection of objects, but we need some new words and symbols and diagrams to be able to talk sensibly about sets. So, i-discuss natin yung mga words and symbols or yung notations about sets. Pag sinabi natin collections, di isa lang siyang grupo. A set can be, for example, the names of the teachers in Ascot. So, ang laman ng set nun, lahat ng pangalan ng mga teacher sa ASCOT, okay? As well as pwede rin tayo magkaroon ng sets ng schools. Ano nga ba yung mga schools involved sa ASCOT? So, School of Information Technology, School of Agriculture and Aquatic Sciences, and the like. So, yun ay mga collection ng schools which makes it a set, okay? In our ordinary language, we try to make sense of the world we live in by classifying collections of things, okay? So, classify natin siya and then ginagamit natin yung English language to describe what those sets may contain. For example, sa English language, we have a name for a collection of birds. Ang tawag natin dun ay a flock of birds. Pagdating naman sa cattle, we call it a herd of cattle, a swarm of bees, and a colony of ants. All of these are sets for which ang individual elements niya ay yung mga iba't ibang uri ng birds, okay? We do a similar thing in mathematics and classify numbers, geometrical figures, and other things into collections that we call sets. An example of this is the collection of even numbers. Ano ba yung mga collections of even numbers? Ito yung mga numbers na 2, 4, 6, 8. So anything that is divisible by 2 belongs to the set of even numbers, okay? So the object in these sets are called the elements of the set. So, ang tawag natin sa mga laman ng isang set ay elements. Okay? So, how do we describe a particular set? So, a set can be described by listing all of its examples. So, ito yung tinatawag natin na listing method or basically, nililista natin siya. Okay? So, here, ang set natin ay pinangalanan natin na S. Let S be the set equal to the set containing 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Pwede nating basahin as set S is the set whose elements are 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So, take note kung paano tayo magsulat ng set. Gumagamit tayo ng curly brackets para i-contain yung mga elements ng set. So, meron tayong 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Yan yung laman ng set S. And then, furthermore, a set can also be described by writing a description. So, ito yung isa pang method kung paano magsulat ng set. I-describe natin yung elements ng isang sets between curly brackets. Thus, the set S above can also be written as the following. So, itong set na ito, itong 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, pwede lang rin natin siyang isulat as S is the set that contains odd whole numbers less than 10. Okay? So, another way of describing is using the description method. So, ito yung listing method and then this one is the description method. Okay? A set must be well-defined. Pag sinabi natin well-defined, this means that our description of the elements of a set is clear and unambiguous. So, hindi dapat pwedeng ma-question kung ano yung laman ng isang set. Dapat definite yung laman ng isang set or alam agad natin kung ano yung mga magiging elements niya. For example, we have the set of tall people. It is not a set. Bakit, sir? Kasi tall people is relative. We need to define what tall people is. Pag ikaw ay pandak, yung 5 feet sa'yo, pwede na siyang maging tall. So, it cannot be a set kung ang gagawin lang nating description ay tall people. Pwede nating sabihin that let S be the collection of all elements such that ang height ng mga tao ay greater than 6 feet or 6 feet pataas. Okay? Yun yung pwedeng maging description ng tall people. An example of a well-defined set is letters in the English alphabet. So, very clear ito. Wala naman tayong ibang alphabet na English alphabet. Yun lang A, B, C, D hanggang kay letter Z. Okay? Kailangan well-defined yung ating set. Okay? Next, we will discuss what we call equal sets. Okay? So, two sets are called equal if they have exactly the same element. Pag sinabing exactly, element per element, dapat equal sila. For example, ito, the set vowels in the English alphabet is equal to the following set. So, A, E, I, O, U. So, lahat yan ay vowels naman. So, yung laman nitong set na to, siya rin yung laman ng set na ito, which makes the two sets equal. On the other hand, if we take a look at this set, the sets 1, 3, 5 and 1, 2, 3 are not equal. Bakit? Kasi meron siyang 1 meron ding 1 dito, meron siyang 3, meron siyang 3 dito, pero hindi sila pareho dun sa last element. Etong isang set na to, merong 5, eto naman merong 2. So they are not equal because they have different elements. This can be written as the following. So meron lang tayong equal sign na nilagyan ng guhit sa gitna. Ang symbol na yan ay not equal. Okay? The order in which the elements are written between the curly brackets does not matter at all. So, pwedeng maging equal yung dalawang sets basta pareho sila ng laman maski hindi na pare-pareho yung order. For example, we have this one. The first set is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Arrange siya from lowest to highest. Ito naman, naka-jumble siya. 3, 9, 7, 5, 1, pero still equal sila kasi pareho sila ng laman. That goes with this set. Pareho lang rin siya. 5, 9, 1, 3, 7. Lahat etong tatlong sets na to ay equal regardless of the arrangement of the set. Okay? If an element is listed more than once, it is only counted once. For example, ito, AA, B, yung laman ng set na ito. It cannot have two elements na pareho. So, since pareho si A na nilist, pwede lang natin siyang isulat as the set containing A and B. Okay? It can only be counted once. Okay? If an element is listed more than once, it is only counted once. For example, this one. So, the set AAB has only the two elements A and B. Okay? The second mention is unnecessary. So, etong A na ito, hindi na siya necessary kasi nga, nandito na siya. Meron na tayong first na mention. So, hindi na necessary na ulitin. It is normally considered poor notation to list an element more than once. Okay? Once lang natin siya ilalagay. Next, we have a symbol na ginagamit natin basically sa ating discussion. So, the symbols, ito. So, meron tayo epsilon. So, small epsilon to and not epsilon. So, this can be read as is an element of and is not an element of. So, dito, i-discuss na natin yung notation or set notation na tinatawag natin kasi madalas natin siyang gagamitin. So, instead na sabihin natin is an element of, isusulat na lang natin tong symbol na to. Pag sinabi naman natin is not an element of, pwede natin isulat tong symbol na ito. Okay? For example, if A contains the set 3, 4, 5, 6, then we can write 3 is an element of A or 3 is an element of the set A. Kasi nga makikita natin si 3 ay member nga ni A. Another example is A is not an element of 8 is not an element of A. Kasi nga wala naman si 8 dito. Okay? So pwede natin siyang basahin as 8 is not an element of the set A. Okay? So, this is the summary ng ating first part ng discussion. You can screenshot it and aralin natin na lang siya later on. Okay? Next, we proceed to another definition wherein we will discuss finite and infinite sets. Dito, binibilang na natin kung ilan yung laman or ilan yung members ng isang set. Okay? So, ang basa ulit dito again, finite and infinite. Okay? Hindi siya infinite ha. At ito, hindi rin siya finite. It is read as finite and infinite. Okay? I think familiar naman na kayo dito. All the sets that we have seen so far have been finite sets. Meaning, pag sinabi nating finite, nabibilang lang natin yung laman ng isang set. Or, pwede natin siyang ilista. Hindi siya infinite. An example of this one is ito. The set of all whole numbers between 2000 and 2005. Ano ba yung mga whole numbers between? Nasa pagitan ni 2000 at saka ni 2005. We have 2001, 2002, 2003 hanggang 2004. This is a finite set kasi pwede nating ilista lahat ng members niya. Okay? Or lahat ng elements. Okay? Another example is the number of whole numbers between 2000 and 3000. So dito, it will take a lot. Marami to kasi meron tayong ilang numbers between 2000 and 3000. We have 999 numbers. Pero hindi pa rin siya infinite. Finite pa rin siya kasi pwede nating ilista isa-isa. Pero in this case, hindi na natin siya ililista. If we want to list all the numbers, pwede na lang natin siyang isulat like this. We have 2001, 2002, 2003, and then meron tayong ellipsis up to 299 kasi between lang siya. Again, finite pa rin siya kasi pwede nating isulat lahat ng members. Okay? There are 3 dots in the second example. So, it stands for the other 995 numbers na hindi natin nilista. Okay? So, yun yung example ng finite set. A set can also be infinite, or all that matters is that it is well defined. An infinite set is yung hindi mo pwedeng ilista lahat ng members niya. Kasi sobrang dami niya. For example, ito, the set of even whole numbers, we have starting from 0, 2, 4, 6, 10, 8, etc. and so on and so forth. Sobrang dami ng numbers na yan. Kaya hindi na natin siya sinusulat lahat. Gumagamit na lamang tayo ng ellipsis and so on. So, continuing. Another one is the set of whole numbers greater than 2,000. Again, hindi natin pwedeng ilista lahat. So, we just enumerate a few of the first elements. So, 2001 hanggang kay 2004 and then gamitin na natin si ellipsis. Okay? Both these sets are infinite because no matter how many elements we list, there are always more elements in the set that are not on our list. Okay? Next, we need to find the number of elements of a set. Ilan nga ba yung laman ng isang set? Okay? If S is a finite set, so if S is a finite set, pwede nating bilangin yung laman niya. Tama? And ang symbol na ginagamit natin dito ay ito. So, surrounded by two vertical lines si S. Ang basa natin dito ay yung cardinality or the number of elements of the set S. For example, we have S is equal to 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Then, yung cardinality niya or yung number of elements is equal to 5 kasi 5 yung laman niya. If A is equal to 1,001 hanggang 3,000, alam natin na pag binilang natin yung elements ng set na ito, ang magiging laman niya ay 2,000. Therefore, the cardinality or the number of elements of the set A is equal to 2,000. As well as this, if T is the letters in the English alphabet, we know that T, the cardinality of T or the number of elements of T is equal to 26. Okay? So, the set S equal to 5 is a one-element set because the cardinality of S is equal to 1. So, take note, etong S equal to the set containing 5. So, isa lang yung laman niya. Therefore, ang cardinality niya ay equal lang kay 1. Okay? It is important to distinguish between the number 5 and the set S equal to 5. Magkaiba siya ha. Dito sa set na ito, si 5 element siya ng S. Pero S is not equal to 5. Kasi si 5 element lang. Si S, isa siyang set. So, the set cannot be equal to an element. Okay? So, take note of that. Baka malito lang kayo sa notation. Pag set ang tinutukoy, maski isa lang yung laman niya, huwag niyong kakalimutan pa rin yung ating curly brackets. Okay? An important set na didiscuss natin next ay yung tinatawag natin na empty sets. Yes, there are sets na walang laman. The symbol that we use for the empty set is this one. So, para siyang bilog na merong guhit sa gitna, which is the set that has no elements at all. It is a set na walang laman. Okay? Nothing in the whole universe is an element of, the empty set. Okay? So, ang cardinality ng empty set ay 0 kasi nga wala siyang laman. So, X cannot be an element of the empty set no matter what X may be. Hindi ka pwedeng maging laman ng empty set kasi nga empty siya. Wala siyang laman. Pag nagkaroon ka ng element doon, di hindi na siya empty set. Okay? And then, sinabi dito, there is only one empty set kasi nga if there are any two empty sets that have the same elements, so they must be equal to one another. Hindi tayo pwede magkaroon ng dalawang empty set. So, two empty sets is equal to each other. Okay? Malinaw. Ang ibig sabihin lang natin dito, ang empty set natin ay unique. Okay. Next, finite and infinite sets. So, ito yung summary natin so far. So, ito yung definition ng finite sets hanggang definition ng empty set. Okay? So, next, or final part na ata to, which is subsets and Venn diagram. So, what is a subset? So, a subset is a part of our set or isa lang siyang grupo na nakapaloob sa ating set. For example, ang set natin ay the set of all ASCOT students. Ang isang subset nun ay students in the Information Technology Department. Another subset is the students in the School of Agriculture and Aquatic Sciences, and so on and so forth. So, sets of things are often further subdivided. Okay? So, ito nga. For example, owls are a particular type of bird. Tama? Ang mga kwago daw ay isang uri lang ng ibon. Therefore, owl is a subset of the set birds. Okay? If we take a look at the definition, basahin natin, a set S is called a subset of another set T if every element of S is an element of T. Okay? Ang symbol na ginagamit natin dyan ay ito. So, S is a subset of T. Okay? So, read this as S is a subset of T. Okay? The new symbol, so tandaan nyo na lang itong symbol na to, means is a subset of. Okay? Para hindi natin paulit-ulit na sinusulat yung is a subset of. Okay? Thus, if we put into notation yung ating example kanina, so owls is a subset of birds. Tama? Because every owl is a bird. Okay? Similarly, if we have the set A equal to 2, 4, 6 and B equal to 1, 2, 3 hanggang kay 6, lahat ng elements ni A, si 2, si 4, si 6 ay na kay B. Si 2, si 4 at si 6. Therefore, A is a subset of B. Okay? The sentence S is not a subset of is written as the following. So, para lang siyang subset pero may guhit sa gitna. So, it is not a subset of. So, kung titingnan natin ito, this means that at least one element of S is not an element of T. Maski isang element lang daw na wala kay T or dun sa ating set, ay hindi na siya magiging subset. For example, ito. Birds is not a subset of flying creatures. Bakit? Hindi lahat ng birds ay lumilipad. Tama? We have the ostriches. Okay? We have the penguins. So, these birds are flightless birds. So, birds is not a subset of flying creatures. Pero we cannot also discuss the opposite. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng lumilipad ay ibon. So, flying creatures is not a subset of birds. Ganun lang rin. Vice versa. Okay? The set itself and the empty set are always subsets. Totoo ba ito? Yes. Okay? The set itself and the empty set are always subset. Ang empty set, dahil wala siya, element siya lagi nung ating set. Maging anumang set yan. Maging T man yan, S or U. Okay? By the way, huwag kayong malilito sa letters. Pangalan lang siya. Ambiguous siya. Pinapangalanan lang natin yung sets. Okay? Any set S is a subset of itself because every element of S is an element of S. So, for example, we have the set S, subset siya ng sarili niya. Okay? Like this one. Kung titignan natin to, birds is a subset of birds and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a subset of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Furthermore, the empty set is a subset of every set S because every element of the empty set is an element of S. Tama? Dahil walang element yung empty set, malamang nandun siya sa loob ng iba. For example, the empty set is the subset of the set of birds as well as the empty set is the subset of the set containing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Now, we use Venn diagrams. Ano nga ba yung Venn diagrams? Okay? So, ito ay na-discover daw ng isang English mathematician named John Venn, okay, to represent what we call sets. Okay, his diagrams are now called Venn diagrams. Okay, so for example, ito, we have a Venn diagram containing, meron tayong notation dito. E will be referred to hence as our universal set. Okay, or yung set ng lahat ng kino-consider natin. And then set B here is A, E, I, O, U. Tapos ito naman yung ating mga hindi kabilang kay set V. So, V, ang laman lang niya ay vowels and then yung nasa labas, ang laman niya ay mga consonant. So, this is an example of a Venn diagram. For example, yun nga, if V is vowels and E is the letters of the alphabet, magiging ganito yung itsura ng kanyang Venn diagram. Okay? Okay, yeah, it will look something like this. For example, ito, in the Venn diagram below, the universal set is the set E. So, basically, lahat ng laman ng rectangle, yun yung laman ni E. Okay? So, 0, 1, 2, 6, 7, 5, 3, 9, 8, 2, 10, and 4. Okay? Pero, ang laman lang ng set A ay itong 1, 5, 7, 3, and 9, yung ating mga odd numbers. Yung nasa labas ng set A, yun yung ating mga even numbers. Okay? We know, if we consider this one, if we know that S is a subset of T, then we place the circle representing S inside of the circle representing T. Intuitive naman siya, no? For example, ito, S is a subset of T. Therefore, yung circle ni S, itong S na ito, nakapaloob dapat siya sa circle ni Okay? So, yung 4 and 3, since wala siya kay S, hindi siya nakapaloob dun kay circle. So, ang laman lang ni S ay 0, 1, and 2. Okay? Madali lang naman mag-gets yung ating notation. Okay? So, take a look at the summary na lang. Next, and then finally, we have the definition of complements, intersection, and unions. Okay? Suppose that a suitable universal set E has been chosen. So, suppose meron daw tayo isang universal set E. Ang complement ng isang set S ay yung mga wala kay set S na nandun kay E. Again, I repeat, ang complement ng set S ay yung mga wala kay S pero nasa loob pa rin ni E. Okay? At ang notation ng complement na yun ay S raised to C. So, S complement. Okay? For example, ito, if E is the set of all letters in the alphabet and V is the set of all vowels, so ano kaya yun? Pag inalis natin yung mga vowels dun sa ating set of letters, ano yung makukuha natin? Yan yung ating set of consonants. Okay? Or yung ating B, C, D, G, H, etc. Okay? Yun yung complement. Okay? If E is the set of all whole numbers and O is the odd whole numbers, pag kinuha natin yung complement ni O, ang matitira ay yung ating mga even whole numbers. Okay? Malinaw si complement? Yes, babalik ta rin lang natin siya. Okay. Next, we have the definition of the intersection of two sets. The intersections of two sets A and B consist of all elements belonging to A and to B. This symbol is written as the following. Okay? Dapat, pag kinukuha natin intersection, nandun siya kay A at nandun din siya kay B. Okay? For example, some musicians are singers and some play an instrument. Pag kinuha natin yung intersection nila, dapat ang makukuha natin ay singers who play an instrument. Yung mga marunong kumanta at saka marunong din mag-play ng instrument. Yun yung kanyang intersection. Okay? For example, ito. Consider the Venn diagram below. Here is an example using letters. So, let B be the vowel. So, anong alaman ni V? A, E, I, O, U. Okay? And F is the letters in dingo. Okay? Kung gagawin natin siya ng Venn diagram, ano ba yung mga meron sa vowels na meron din kay word na dingo? So, ano ba yung mga letter ng dingo? D-I-N-G-O. Okay? Meron siyang I at saka meron siyang O. Therefore, the intersection should be the sets containing I and O. So, if V, ito si V, A, E, I, O, U, and then ito si F, dingo, ang intersection nila ay si I tapos si O. Okay? Yeah. Malinaw naman, madali lang naman si intersection. Next, the union of two sets. What is the union of two sets? The union of two sets A and B consist of all elements belonging to A or to B. Dito, kailangan, dun sa intersection, kailangan pareho kang member ni V, pareho ka ring member ni F. Sa union, kailangan member ka ni A at saka member ka ni B para magbilong ka sa union. Basically, ang nangyayari sa union, pinagsasama lang natin lahat ng meron siya. Okay? This is written as A union B. Okay? Ang basa dyan ay A union B. Okay, tingnan natin dito. If A is the set of singers and B is the set of all who can play instruments, pag pinuha natin yung union, ang makukuha natin ay musical performance. So, regardless of kung singer ka man or marunong ka mag-play ng instrument, ikaw ay musical performer. Okay? Dito naman, so the set of vowels and F is the set of the letters in dingo. Pag kinuha natin yung union, pagsasamahin lang natin siya. So, ito yung vowels. Tapos, ano yung mga letters sa dingo? D, N, G. Hindi na natin ulit sinulat si I tapos si O kasi nga nandito na siya. Okay? Minsan lang natin isusulat yung isang letter. So, yan ang union. Okay? Malinaw? So, yun yung intersection, union. And then next is the disjoint set. Two sets are disjoint if they have no elements in common. For example, ito, si S tapos si T, wala silang elements in common kaya disjoint sila. Another way of defining disjoint sets is if their intersection is empty set. Okay? Pag kinuha mo yung intersection ni A at saka si B, ang makukuha mo ay empty set. Okay? Yeah. Okay, another way to define disjoint set is to say that their intersection is the empty set. Okay. Next, how do we represent the complement using a Venn diagram? For example, ito, let A be the set containing 1, 3, 5, 9 and E is 0 up to 10. Kung kukunin mo yung complement ni A, ano yung makukuha natin? So, A is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Pag kinuha natin si complement ni A, tignan natin, ano yung makukuha nating value? So, ito lang. So, 0, 6, 4, 8, 2 hanggang kay 10. So, ito yung A complement, yung mga nasa labas. So, yun yung ating mga odd numbers. Okay? Next, how do we represent the union naman? Pag kinuha naman natin yung union, so A is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Meron silang intersection na 1, 3, 5 kasi 1, 3, 5. Pero, pag kinuha natin yung union ni A at saka si B, eto siya lahat. Yung laman ng circle ni A at saka lahat ng laman ni circle ni B. Okay? Pag ang kinuha natin ay yung intersection lang, ang makukuha lang natin ay si 1, 3 at saka si 5. Okay? Pag disjoint sets naman, edi ganito lang, madali lang yung disjoint sets. Since wala naman silang elements in common, paghiwalayin nyo lang yung circle ni P, yung circle ni Q. Okay? Yan yung makukuha natin. At etong mga numbers na nasa labas, si 5, 7, 4, 6, siya yung mga P union Q complement. Kasi siya yung nasa labas ni P at saka nasa labas din ni Q. Okay? Yeah. Okay? For example, let P and so on. So, yan na yun. Okay. So, if you have any questions, kindly PM me na lang and I will send the link ng ating assessment sa ating Google Classroom. Okay? So, you will have two quizzes or homeworks per se. Yung ating assessment at saka yung ating quiz na isesend ko naman online. So, I think that's all of it. Thank you for listening once again and I'll see you on the next video.